Battle through the firmament. Grand world. Chapter 307 Holy Spirit Fire Body Zhu Tianhou. The final battle between Xiaoyan and Bai Yongzhao finally came to an end under the cheers of the crowd. Compared to the battle between these two people, the battle between the other four people on the other two stages seemed rather boring. Soon, the outcome of the battle was determined. Next stage, Zhao Shi and Zhu Tianhou. When the battle on the stage had ended, Elder Wu looked at the name list and spoke in a clear voice. Originally, this was the battle between Bai Yongzhao and Zhu Tianhou, but after he changed the order, he had witnessed a soul-stirring battle. This Xiaoyan really lived up to the name of the saint-rank trial participant. In the future, he might really become one of the pillars of Yunluo Academy alongside Ma Huyang. Everyone was immersed in the battle between Xiaoyan and Bai Yongzhao. When they heard the two names that Elder Wu mentioned, they didn't pay much attention to it. Zhu Tianhou was only ranked 15th on the Soaring Dragon ranking, and the Zhao Shi was also ranked 30th. The battle between the two of them. It was far less exciting than the battle between the top 10 experts of the Soaring Dragon ranking. Xiaoyan, who had returned to his seat, was slightly surprised when he heard this name. He looked over and saw a young man in a red robe slowly standing up. He was expressionless as he walked towards the stage. Not far away, a young man with a strong body also stood up. He had a confident expression on his face as he followed from the other side. Finally, I can understand his strength. Xiaoyan sat down quietly. From Zuna, he knew that this Zhao Shi was also a strong cultivator from the Soaring Dragon ranking. He should be able to make Zhu Tianhou use some of his strength. As for the latter, for some reason, he had a strange feeling. This feeling was much stronger than Wu Shaoqi's. Senior brother Yuan, do you dare to bet with me? Seeing Zhu Tianhou coming onto the stage, Zan Kai suddenly smiled and looked at Yuan Shenmu. What do you want to bet? Yuan Shenmu looked at Zhu Tianhou and asked in a low voice. I want to bet that Zhu Tianhou can defeat his opponent in a few moves. Zan Kai said with a smile. I don't even know how strong his opponent is. How should I bet? Yuan Shenmu squinted his eyes and said faintly. Being able to be his opponent, his strength is almost the same. There won't be too much of a difference. Zan Kai smiled and said, I will bet within 3 moves. 3 moves. You are so confident. Yuan Shenmu frowned and relaxed his brows. He smiled and said, what is the bet? If I win, I will ask senior disciple Yuan to use his power to let Zhu Tianhou enter the spirit pavilion. Zan Kai's face turned solemn as soon as the bet was mentioned. You lost. Yuan Shenmu's eyes lit up when he heard this. He had the right to enter the inner region of the spirit pavilion. Every student in the realm in Valley was different. The stronger they were, the more they would be able to obtain. With Yuan Shenmu's strength, he naturally had more chances than Zan Kai. A few days ago, I accidentally found a pool of spiritual liquid in the deep mountains outside. It's very beneficial to my strength. However, there's an Emperor cultivation level high-grade heavenly beast guarding it. This information should be enough. Zan Kai's lips moved slightly as he spoke in a voice that only the two of them could hear. Yuan Shenmu looked at Zan Kai when he heard this and smiled. His eyes quietly looked around and nodded slightly. He said in a low voice, all right, I'll agree to it first. We'll discuss the details later. Zan Kai smiled and nodded quietly. After which, he looked towards the main platform. The two of them were already standing opposite each other. After the judge gave the order, Zhao Shi had already become impatient. His feet suddenly stomped on the ground and his body rushed over like lightning. The wind from his fist whistled and the spatial friction continued. Zhu Tianhou was like a mountain as he stood firmly on the spot. His expression did not change even a little as he watched Zhao's eyes rushing figure. His body did not show any signs of moving. Xiaoyan's sharp eyes stared at Zhu Tianhou who was standing on the stage. His expression was solemn, and he didn't say a word. In the distance, Ma Huyang's eyes were also overflowing with a purple light, and she was staring at Zhu Tianhou. She was also quite interested in this sacred spirit fire body that her big brother had taken a liking to. The origin monic key in my body is actually so hot. Mahiyu's illusionary purple eyes saw through Zhu Tianho's body. She looked at the origin monic kiss surging continuously within Zhu Tianho's body and involuntarily let out a soft sigh. These origin monic kiss were extremely wild and violent. They were like silent volcanoes that could erupt at any moment. Although this was the case, it was as though they were suppressed by a strange pressure. There was not a trace of an eruption. It was likely that this was the ability of the sacred spirit fire body. Zhu Tianho did not appear to have made a single move. However, the origin monic kiss within his body had already begun to roar and surge. They flowed along specific key paths and gathered in various parts of his body. Buzz. Mahiyu only felt a slight pain in her eyes. It was as though she had been burned by a blazing flame. She hurriedly closed her eyes. When she opened her eyes again, Zhu Tianho had already moved. When Zhao's eyes fist was just inches away, the corner of Zhu Tianho's mouth suddenly curled up. Immediately after, everyone saw flames curling around his body. A powerful aura that caused one's face to change color shot up into the sky. In the next moment, Zhu Tianho suddenly stretched out both of his hands, and before Zhao Shi could react, his abdomen suddenly felt a pain as it violently flew backwards like a sandbag. He fell off the stage. Zhu Tianho slowly withdrew his fists. The flames on his body had also disappeared at this moment. His shocking aura had once again returned to normal. What happened? He sent Zhao Shi flying with just one strike. How is that possible? In an instant, the entire place was in an uproar. The sound of surprise and bewilderment sounded like thunder. Zhu Tianho, however, turned a deaf ear to it. He glanced at Zhao Shi who had fallen to the ground and fainted. The corner of his mouth revealed a trace of a smile as he turned around and walked down. At that instant, Xiaoyan frowned. Scenes of Fang Kai kept flashing across his mind. The moment Zhu Tianho's body was wrapped in flames, he could clearly feel the monic flame in his body boiling. This guy is really extraordinary. Looking at Zhu Tianho who was walking down the stage, Xiaoyan's brows gradually became serious. It seemed like the following competition would be even more difficult. Purple light circulated in Mahiyu's eyes. She was also shocked by Zhu Tianho's sudden outburst. At that moment, with the help of the illusion purple eye, she could clearly feel the rapid changes in Zhu Tianho's body. However, this guy seems to be unable to accurately control the energy in his body. One move. Yuan Shenmu was also shocked. He narrowed his eyes and slowly nodded under Zan Kai's gaze. All right, I will admit defeat if I am willing to bet. This guy is really beyond my imagination. All right, since senior brother Yuan is so straightforward, I won't hide anything anymore. I can't eat that pond of spiritual liquid by myself. Senior brother Yuan, can we go together? Yuan Shenmu wasn't surprised at all when he heard this. He just smiled and nodded, but his gaze became deeper and deeper. Yunlo Academy. When did such a good seedling appear? Elder Wu narrowed his eyes. He was also shocked by Zhu Tianho's strength. He looked at Zhu Tianho's figure and stroked his beard. No one knew what he was thinking. It is getting more and more interesting. I am looking forward to Mahiyu, Wu Shaoqi, the battle between the Saint rank trial participant and this Zhu Tianho. His fingertip lightly tapped the table and Elder Wu revealed a smile as he muttered to himself. Chapter end. Please guys like, comment, share, and subscribe.